Most men who begin the journey of semen retention expect strength, clarity, dominance, and control. But no one tells them about the storm that hits. First, the chaos inside the mind, the pull of temptation, the restless nights, the sudden doubts, and the sharp, silent war between who they were and who they are trying to become. The journey doesn't start with victory. It starts with resistance. Before we go deeper into semen retention mastery, subscribe to this channel and join our Telegram community link below. You'll get guidance, insights, and exclusive updates designed to accelerate your growth. Stay connected. Your discipline, focus, and transformation begin right here. You feel it the first night, maybe the second. A craving, a whisper, a subtle voice telling you to go back to what's familiar. It promises comfort, release, relief. It tells you nothing is wrong with the way you were living. But deep down, another voice, recessed quieter, steadier, colder. A voice that says, if you break now, you break forever. And suddenly, the journey becomes real. Inside your mind, memories and urges begin crawling back from every corner you once avoided. Thoughts you used to silence with screens, scrolling, and release now demand your attention. The mind starts revealing everything you ignore: boredom, insecurity, hunger for validation, unresolved desire, and loneliness. You stare at yourself not as a boy searching for stimulation, but as a man facing himself for the first time. This stage feels unstable because for years, your brain was wired to chase dopamine at the first sign of stress. You never had to sit with discomfort. You escaped it instantly. But now, there is no escape. And that's exactly why your transformation has begun. The longer you hold, the louder your impulses get. They don't attack you logically, they attack emotionally. Sudden arousal, random memories, surges of lust without reason. You catch yourself fantasizing, not because you need it, but because your brain is rewiring and resisting change. And this is where many men fall, not because they are weak, but because they mistake discomfort for failure. They think chaos means something is wrong. But the truth is colder, sharper, and more empowering. The chaos means the old version of you is dying. The boy who lived on impulse, distraction, and fragmented focus begins losing dominance. The man come aware, intentional begins to emerge from beneath years of unconscious behavior. And as this shift happens, something unexpected begins to appear in your energy. Women start noticing you, not because you're trying, not because you changed your style or became louder or more charming, but because your energy is no longer leaking. Your gaze becomes grounded, your movements slow down, your presence becomes felt rather than heard. You speak less, but your silence carries weight. Women subconsciously sense when a man is controlled by desire, and when a man controls desire, one feels predictable and ordinary. The other feels rare and magnetic. A man who retains his essence doesn't chase attention, yet attention arrives anyway. And this is where the story becomes interesting. At this point, temptation becomes stronger, not weaker. Women smile longer. Eye contact holds. Conversations feel charged. Suddenly, the world around you becomes filled with subtle tests. Some men call it coincidence. But it isn't. It's human biology responding to power. Women can sense when a man has a full reservoir of masculine energy. It activates something instinctual in them: curiosity, attraction, respect. They may not understand why they feel it, but they feel it. And you must choose whether you will collapse at the first sign of softness or whether you'll become the kind of man who remains grounded even when the world offers pleasure on a silver plate. This is where the real transformation begins. Your posture changes, your breathing slows, your mind stops racing. You're no longer urgently seeking something external. Instead, you generate energy inwardly. You notice the conversations flow smoother because you're not trapped inside your thoughts. You become present not for others, but for yourself. The journey continues, and slowly, the chaos turns into clarity. The same forces that once made you restless now become fuel. The tension you once feared becomes drive. The cravings that once controlled you now strengthen your discipline. What used to destroy your focus now becomes the source of it. Suddenly, your priorities shift. You stop wasting time on meaningless scrolling. You cut off draining habits. You become selective with people, with energy, with conversations. Not because you are cold, but because you have finally seen the cost of unconscious living. And as self-control solidifies, something deeper awakens. Ambition, not the shallow desire for attention or pleasure, but the primal hunger to build, conquer, improve, evolve, and rise. You start thinking differently. Your body wants action, challenge, structure. Rest feels earned, not escaped into. You start becoming someone you respect. And with this new version of you forming, you notice the world reacting differently. Men treat you with more seriousness. Women become more attentive. People sense stability in you, something rare in a world addicted to instant gratification. But ascension doesn't happen without darkness. There will still be moments when temptation hits unexpectedly. Nights where loneliness feels sharp. Days where your confidence fluctuates. The journey will test you not once, but repeatedly. Because mastery is not proven by success, is proven by consistency. There will be times your mind whispers, just once. Nobody will know. You've already done enough. But you will know. And that knowledge is everything. Because semen retention is not just about holding seed, it is about holding integrity. When you deny yourself instant pleasure, you are training the very muscle that dictates your future command. A man who cannot command himself will always be commanded by the world. A man who masters himself becomes unstoppable. And as time continues, your energy no longer feels chaotic, it feels directed. You develop an inner calm that cannot be faked. Your eyes show certainty. Your presence communicates stability. Women may not know the reason, but they feel drawn to it because controlled sexual energy feels like safety, confidence, and primal leadership. Not through words, but through aura. You become the kind of man who doesn't chase. They choose. You don't seek validation. You embody it. You no longer wonder if someone likes you. You decide who deserves access to you. And that is when you realize the deepest truth. Retention didn't give you power. Retention revealed the power you always had. It burned away weakness. It exposed avoidance. It rewired addiction into intention. It turned lust into fuel. It turned chaos into purpose. Now, you walk differently not because you're trying to look confident, but because your nervous system is aligned. Your breathing, thoughts, impulses, and desires are no longer adversaries. They are allies. Women look at you and feel something unspoken. Mystery, presence, masculine gravity, and the attraction isn't just physical, it's biological, emotional, psychological, and instinctual. Because women are not drawn to men who release energy recklessly. They are drawn to men who contain power, build discipline, and move with certainty. If this video gave you real value, tap the thanks button. Your support helps me keep creating deeper content like this. Every thanks is a spark that keeps this mission alive. Your support means more than you know. You no longer live life reacting, you live life directing. And in this state, you finally understand. The first version of you was driven by impulse. The final version of you is driven by purpose. That is, the warrior's ascension. The silent transformation the world will never fully understand, but everyone will feel. And now the question becomes, not how long can you retain, but rather, how powerful can you become by refusing to break? Because the moment you master yourself, you become the kind of man the world remembers. Answer in comments the question which answered in video is help you to get truth. If yes, then write senior in comments section. If you have other queries, then ask in comments. We'd love to hear from you.